What if I told you that every excuse you've ever made has been charging you a price? Not a price you pay with money. A price you pay with your future. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," it costs you progress. Every time you say, "I'm not ready," it costs you confidence. Every time you say, "Maybe one day," it costs you another day of your life you'll never get back. And here's the painful truth. Excuses don't make your problems disappear. They only postpone your success. One day you'll look at someone living the life you dreamed about, and you'll realize the difference wasn't talent, luck, or intelligence. They took action while you kept making excuses. So ask yourself, how much longer are you willing to pay for a life you're not living? We all have excuses. I'm too young. I'm too old. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I'll do it when life gets easier. I'll start when I have more confidence. At first, excuses sound harmless. They even sound reasonable. But excuses are dangerous because they disguise themselves as logic while quietly stealing your potential. Not because people couldn't do it, but because they convinced themselves they had more time. The reality is that excuses are expensive. When you skip one workout, the price is a weaker body. When you avoid studying, the price is missed opportunities. When you refuse to chase your dream, the price is a lifetime of wondering, what if? And that is one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry. Not failure. Regret. Failure says, "At least I tried." Regret whispers, "You never even gave yourself a chance." The truth is, nobody has a perfect life. Too many people are waiting to feel ready. But readiness is a myth. If you wait until everything is perfect, you'll spend your entire life waiting. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't stand up and take 10 perfect steps. They fall. Again and again. They stumble. They cry. They fail hundreds of times. But they never say, "Maybe walking just isn't for me." They keep trying until what once felt impossible becomes natural. Somewhere along the way, as adults, we forget that lesson. We become afraid of looking foolish. Afraid of failing. Afraid of what people might think. So we hide behind excuses. I'll start after the holidays. I'll start next month. I'll start when I have more money. But deep down we know the truth. The problem isn't the timing. The problem is fear. And fear has convinced millions of people to settle for less than they deserve. Imagine if the greatest inventors had waited until they felt ready. Imagine if the greatest athletes quit after one loss. Imagine if every successful person allowed excuses to become permanent. The world would have lost greatness. And maybe the world is waiting for something only you can create. Maybe there's a business only you can build. A story only you can tell. A family only you can inspire. A dream only you can bring to life. But none of it happens if excuses keep winning. Because every excuse has a hidden price tag. The excuse to skip one workout becomes years of poor health. The excuse to avoid learning becomes a lifetime of missed growth. The excuse to stay in your comfort zone becomes a future you never wanted. And here's the hardest part. You rarely notice the price while you're paying it. You don't wake up after one lazy day and see the damage. You don't see the cost after one missed opportunity. But over months, over years, those little excuses pile up until one day you wake up and realize you're living a life you never intended to create. You look back and wonder where the time went. You remember the dreams you had, the goals you wrote down, the promises you made to yourself. And then a painful thought enters your mind. I could have done more. But here's the good news. As long as you're alive, your story isn't over. It doesn't matter how many excuses you've made before today. It doesn't matter how many chances you've missed. What matters is the decision you make next. Because one decision can change everything. One decision to wake up earlier. One decision to stop procrastinating. One decision to stop blaming circumstances. One decision to believe that your future is worth fighting for. Success isn't built by people who never struggle. It's built by people who stop negotiating with their excuses. When your alarm rings, the excuse says, sleep a little longer. Your dream says, get up. When life gets hard, the excuse says, quit. Your future says, keep going. When fear shows up, the excuse says, wait. Your purpose says, start anyway. The voice you choose to listen to will shape the life you live. And one day, years from now, you'll either thank yourself for taking action, or you'll wish you had. Imagine meeting the person you could have become. The strongest version of you. The most successful, disciplined, and fulfilled version of you. Now imagine that person looking you in the eyes and asking, why did you give up on me? What would you say? Would you tell them you were too busy? Too tired? Too afraid? That you were waiting for the perfect moment? The truth is, your future doesn't need perfection from you. It needs commitment. It needs one small act of courage. One small step forward. One decision to stop letting excuses write your story. Because every day you delay, life keeps moving. The clock keeps ticking. The opportunities keep passing. And whether you realize it or not, you're making a choice. You can choose the temporary comfort of excuses, or the lasting reward of action. But you cannot have both. So here's my challenge to you. When this video ends, write down the biggest excuse that's been holding you back. Maybe it's, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I'm not good enough. I'll start tomorrow. Now look at that excuse and ask yourself, what is this costing me? Because every excuse has a price, and your dreams are too valuable to keep paying it. Then do one thing you've been avoiding. Make the phone call. Start the workout. Write the first page. Launch the idea. Take the first step. Not because it's easy, but because your future is worth it. If this message speaks to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs the reminder that excuses don't build dreams, actions do. And before you leave, I want you to type these 5 words in the comments. No more excuses. I start today. Say it. Believe it. Live it. Because the moment you stop making excuses, you stop limiting your future. And the moment you take responsibility for your life, you become unstoppable.